What's up guys, that was the part today. I'm going to show you 8 more hidden features in iOS 11 Beta 9 that I found today. First one is the most helpful one. The bug where the iPhone 5, there's an issue where the 5S took forever to load anything. Like I showed you in the previous betas, they couldn't load much on here. That's been fixed in this latest beta. So like loading web pages works perfectly, see? You can finally load things here. Like you finally load web pages, servers now working properly, everything. Next one, new description in the battery tab for low power mode. So when you go to the battery tab, there's now a new description right here that says for quicker access to low power mode. You can add it to the control center in control center settings. Really cool text. Next one is going to set new wallpapers from the camera roll. You can now see other photos behind it, not just one. Like here's iOS 10. Because in iOS 10 here, I have so many photos, but only on some of them on iOS 10 does that. But on the back here, it doesn't show all the pictures behind it like on your camera roll. But in iOS 11 Beta 9, you can now see the pictures behind the other photos, which is really hard. If you look right here, you can see all the pictures behind it. On the iPad, you can notice that a lot more. So like when you go to the wallpaper section to choose new wallpaper, you can see easily. You can see all the pictures behind the camera roll tab and all of them now, not just one. Because previously that was only made for special albums only, not camera roll, but now you can see the other pictures behind it now. Really cool. Next one is, if you guys remember the big gap between the Amber Alerts and the location services settings, like when you go to like notifications, when you go down, there used to be a big space down here underneath the Amber Alert settings. Let me show you on my 5S here. As you guys remember, it used to be on the one of the betas, there used to be a big space between this part right here. I turn away so I don't show any info on the next part. So now, when you go to edit, there is now a big space right here. It's hard to notice it, but I have iOS 10 right here. You can hear the difference. See, there is now a big space right here underneath the description and the first widget. On this one, on iOS 10, it doesn't have that big space. In iOS 11, it does. Really interesting. It's hard to notice. And the next one, the microphone and the spotlight search on the left is shorter now. I meant everywhere, actually. That's what I meant. So when I go into photos here, I screenshotted one for my 5S and my iPhone 5. So here's the difference. Here's iOS 10. Look at the microphone icon very carefully. 11. You notice it gets shorter. See, it's actually on here the iOS 10 how it's tall, but on iOS 11 it's shorter. 10, 11. So the microphone icon right here is shorter, and the text here is shrunk too. The difference in the microphone is hard to notice, but it is smaller and shorter. Really weird. That's a really hard thing to spot, but it is smaller. Next one, you can now delete keyboards with one swipe. So like iOS 10, when you go into settings on iOS 10 and add a new keyboard, you cannot delete keyboards with one swipe on here. See, when you try to do it, it will not work. You cannot do that. But on iOS 11, when you do it, you can now delete keyboards with one swipe, just like that. Let me add it again to show you again. Wrong one. You kind of get the idea. Like when I click emoji on both of them, you can, on iOS 11, you can delete keyboards with one swipe. On iOS 10, you can swipe and click delete. That's really helpful for removing keyboards quicker, just like in the clock app. Next one is the spacebar text has been removed. So if you guys recall on the older software, let me check here just to make sure I'm right. So on the iPads, it's been removed. So on the iPad, there used to be a thing that's space right here, but on iOS 11 on the iPhone is still there, but on the iPad it's gone. It used to say space right here, but it's gone. Really strange. I'm not sure why Apple would remove that. Next one, there's a new text for people in the Photos app. Like when you go to Photos here, you'll get this new text right here that describes people's Your photo scans the library of familiar faces when no photos are found, but the second one right here says scanning automatically starts when you lock your iPad connected to power. So that's a new text description, not just the first one. Those are 8 more hidden features, not 11 beta 9 I found today. So like the video, give it a thumbs up, submit video.